Good morning, it's June 8th, starting in a completely different spot and going to walk into a neighborhood I haven't walked into before. I mean, I have been here where Roberts Plaza is, but I'm going to go over to that side and walk in the neighborhood behind there today. There's the park over there, which of course I've walked in many times. So just expanding my horizons a little bit because I'm on my way out to Saskatchewan Country Club to write, and so I had the car and thought I'd stop here and do my walk this morning. Oh, and I did that exactly wrong. Oh well. So we'll stand here for a minute. Over there's where my dentist clinic is. Lakeshore Steakhouse, which I've eaten in maybe twice in my life. Where I get my teeth cleaned, very exciting. Lakeshore Village, well, it's an apartment building, but I think there's a daycare in there as well. And then Roberts Plaza, which is this strange standalone apartment building. It's popped up on this corner with nothing else that height anywhere around it. There's a great view over the lake, I'm sure, up at the top. I used to know somebody that lived there. So I have been in there, but not for a while. I did get my microphone working again this morning, so hopefully my sound is good. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, let me know that you're there. If you're on Facebook, let me know that you can hear me. We'll go this way. It's in front of Roberts Plaza. There's a road down here that we will then take to the right and see what we can find. I walked over on that side last week when I came out this way. So, heading out to the Wascana, still working on the Tangled Stars. I got a good chunk done yesterday. I'm getting close to the climax. Yeah, it's rolling well now. I think there's a good chance I'll finish it this week, first draft, and then finally I can go back and start shaping it. I tend to write a complete first draft and then rewrite, unlike some people who prefer to do kind of a rolling draft where they rewrite as they go. And if you go to my podcast, The World Shapers, theworldshapers.com, you'll hear many different approaches to writing. Now, in the Tangled Stars, and also the Moonlit World, which was my last one, I did sort of pause halfway through and go back and rewrite, just to get partly to reassure myself that I was writing something that read pretty good. And I seemed to be, so I was happy with it. So I am looking forward to getting to that stage. Polishing it up, getting it submitted, because it's overdue. It's coming out next year. So, all right, I'll start by going this way. There are different approaches to writing, for sure. That's one of the things about the podcast that's been so interesting, is talking to different writers about different ways of doing things. I presume these are run like condos over here, semi-detached. Let's take this sidewalk here, following our usual zigzag path. I don't really know where I'm going, so I can't really go wrong. Rob Sawyer, the very first person I interviewed, Robert J. Sawyer, Canada's probably leading science fiction writer. In the very first episode I did, talked about what he called the vomit draft. So you just get something down, get that first draft down. Doesn't matter how bad it is. So it's like you threw up, You feel better. Sure, you have to clean up the mess, but you feel better. And this tends to be the approach I take. I've always been it partly goes back to when I started writing. Of course, I was writing longhand originally, and then typing it. And then later, pretty early on actually, my parents bought me an electric typewriter in the early 80s. After I was done university. When I was in university, I was working on an old Smith Corona portable. But anyway, I started writing directly onto the typewriter as soon as I learned to type. And I learned to type in high school and was always the fastest typist in the class because I was motivated. So I can probably type with varying, depending on how much you take off for accuracy, I can probably type about 100, 110 words a minute or something like that. So far, nobody said hi this morning. I hope everything's working well on the feeds. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, please let me know you're there. This road goes on longer than I expected in this direction. I think there's a school up here, maybe. Pleasant walk. Another lovely morning. Not as cool as yesterday. It's supposed to go up to 26 today. So right now I'd say it's probably 18 or something. Didn't really check before I came out. There's a forecast of showers starting about 3 o'clock. But that won't affect this walk. That's still many hours in the future as I do this. Definitely a school up here. It's always funny. Some mornings people are right there when the live stream starts, and some mornings nobody checks in at all. I'm all the way up to 68 subscribers. Just another 932, and I might be able to start monetizing. An empty lot, which is kind of unusual to see. Oh, it goes that way too. There must have been a road there at some point. Huh. So here's a school. Let's see. Oh, it's École Monseigneur du Laval. Oh, right, of course. They have a performance space in here where the Regina Jazz Club has performances. So I've seen a number of performances in there. Haven't been into the school part of the school so much, but that sort of auditorium space. I think it's like their cafeteria maybe, because it's, well, I don't know. It does have a kitchen attached to it. Kids being dropped off here. So I won't point over there. I'll stay on the shady side of the street. Just direct your feet on the shady side of the street. Of course, it's really the sunny side of the street, but little blue light is flashing, so I'm assuming I have sound. Oh, there's Kirk from Vancouver. Good. At least I'm not entirely alone. Well, I am, but virtually accompanied. This is a whole new neighborhood I've never walked in before, so although I know somebody... No, that's a different school. It's hard to say I know somebody that lives right across from the school here, but no, that's a different school. Oh, and there's Miriam from India. This is getting to be a regular habit, or a hobbit, which we happen to be watching. The Hobbit movies. boy, they overblew that book. And I know why. They're built in all the stuff from that was going on during The Hobbit. At least after Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, we found out what was going on. But scenes that are just a couple of pages in the book go on for half an hour in the movie. So that's how they got three movies out of that one little book. Anyway, we're rewatching it. We haven't watched it for a while. We just finished rewatching all the Harry Potter movies, which was fun. And I'm actually rereading Harry Potter series because I've never read it silently to myself. I've read it out loud twice. I read it out loud to my wife. I read it out loud to my daughter, but I've never read it to myself until now. And it's interesting too, having just watched the movies, to be able to see exactly what changes were made. It's clearly a church there. It's Laval, the Monseigneur Laval back there is a Catholic school. There's usually a Catholic church very close by. Said I don't really know what's down this way so much, so I'll walk half an hour and then turn around and try to find my way back to the car. Hopefully I make it. I've just never had reason to drive down in this neighborhood. There's a busier road up there. I've probably been on that road, if it's what I think it is. We'll see in a minute. I've been thinking about all the other books I want to get out through Shadowpaw Press. I mean, I've got a backlog of them. I've really been stalled on writing the Tangled Stars and not doing enough. Plus the Kickstarter. I mean, it's very exciting. I got my story in from Kelly Armstrong, best-selling author. Great story. Really liked it a lot. Called Shadow Sight. I got another story in from Lisa Foyles yesterday. She's best known as an actress. She was on Nickelodeon's now I've forgotten the name of the show. Anyway, she was a Nickelodeon child star, and she recently wrote a middle grade fantasy, which is what I talked to her about. So I got her story in yesterday. I still have to write a story, and there's still a few others to come. So I've got all that to do, but I've also got other books to get out through Shadowpaw Press, some of my older ones. And I'm working with an author who came to me when I was writer in residence in Saskatoon, and he's kept me on as a sort of editor and mentor. And I have offered to publish his book once we're finished going through it, so that would be cool. It's a romance set against I guess you'd call it kind of a romance. I mean, it has a romantic element. It's set against it's a nice little park surrounded by all these residential houses as opposed to non-residential houses. Anyway, it's set against the Second World War, and it's very interesting and well worth being published. And he's come a long way since I first started working with him, so I'm hoping it'll be up to him whether he decides to go with Shadowpaw Press or not. But if he does, I would be happy to publish it. I would like to publish more books by other authors. I mean, I started the company largely to publish my own stuff, but never meant to limit it to that. Of course, I already published my grandfather-in-law's First World War memoirs, One Lucky Devil. Excuse me. That's probably really loud since I'm wearing the microphone. Isn't that a lovely little park to have your houses built around? I have been down here. I remember this park. Some really mature trees too, which is nice. Very nice neighborhood. Some new houses along here, although it's hard to tell sometimes if they're new or old ones that have just been heavily renovated. So one lucky devil is my grandfather-in-law's First World War memoirs, which I had great fun putting together and got it out in time for the centennial of the armistice in 2018. Got some nice, I was on the front page of the Leader Post for that one. Good publicity. And it still sells a few copies. No question my most successful Chautauqua Press book, though, has been Shapers of Worlds, the anthology that I kickstarted last year, and I assume that Shapers of Worlds Volume 2 will also be quite successful because of the authors involved, like the aforementioned Kelly Armstrong. You can hear the birds. There was one in particular. Continue zigzagging here. McPherson Avenue, yes, I've been along McPherson before. I knew somebody that lived on McPherson. Could be around here or back there maybe. Yeah, I think it was right along here. Pretty sure this is neighborhood where Colin Greer, who used to host CBC Afternoon Edition, lived. He was the host for many, many years, and I did a science column, a weekly science column while he was host for 17 years. And I think he lived just back there, if I'm remembering right. He's now out in Victoria. And I would assume retired. He's a bit older than me, or getting close to retirement anyway. He worked for the government out there after he left CBC. How long have I been walking? Only 17 minutes, so we will continue zigzagging this way to the left. So I did this Science of Everyday Things column, and it could be about anything really. I started out that way, and then it was just any science story that caught my eye. And I had a weekly column. It was also in the Leader Post for at least 20 years, or in their free circulation publication, Regina Sun, for part of that time. They never paid me enough. I mean, they paid me almost nothing, $25 a column. But I enjoyed doing it. And it was in a few other newspapers too. It was in St. John's Evening Telegram for a while, out on the East Coast, and Red Deer Advocate, a couple of others. I started doing it when I was at the Science Center's communications officer as a way to promote science and the Science Center. And then when I quit my job there in '93 and went full-time freelance writer, it was one of the things I took with me. I've definitely been on this road, because this... We're going to keep zigzagging. There's another park over here. This is a crosswalk, so we'll go into the park, I think, because I've never been in that park. Down there where the lights are is Albert Street, the main north-south drag. But we will go into the park. Not that this path goes very far, it looks like. And then there's a fence. So what have we run into? Oh, that's a high school. Okay, I know where I am. So, lovely paved path right to here, and then it ends. The question is, if I go down here, can I walk along this fence and get anywhere? Or am I sort of trapped? I'm not exactly trapped. I'm going to end up in somebody's backyard, I think, or in the fields there. So we'll go this way. By the football field. Oh, can we walk down in the shade? Looks like it. It's basically an alley, except it's not an alley, but it's not private property anyway. More like walking through the forest. Got a duck. Oof. Somewhat uneven ground. Well, that'll... I don't know. I don't know what happens down here. I guess I'll stay here. Oh. There's some ruts, so there have been vehicles here once or twice, but not very often. Okay, so I guess I could go back that way, but this is more the direction I'm zigzagging, so we'll stay on this side. Oop, rabbits. I startled them. And there's my unstable internet connection, so I hope YouTube stays up. Three rabbits now. Technically, they're snowshoe hares, I believe, not rabbits. I'm surprised that's the first dog to bark at me walking back here. Alrighty, well, if we go down this way, we can get back onto the sidewalk, so let's do that. Probably glitching right about now. There we go, out of the wilderness, back into civilization. Now, which school is this? Oh, that wasn't a school, that's the Murray Leisure Center. That's basically a skating rink, primarily. I don't know what else is in there. They call it the Leisure Center? Murray. Maybe that's not a skating rink. Maybe it's something else. There's a tree right in front of the sign. It's the Murray. That's what it is. So is this Campbell then I've just managed to walk myself by? It's about time to head back towards the car. I think this is Campbell Collegiate. It's actually the largest high school in Regina, enrollment-wise, I believe. I don't remember what the enrollment is. Is it 2,000 students? Is it that high? Not sure. didn't really expect to encounter it, so it shows you how unfamiliar I am with this neck of the city. I see a note from Roger, I think, but I can't read it in the sun. There you go, Campbell Collegiate. Been in there many times for this and that. Rehearsals and shows, dance competitions. Very long, straight, and bright bit of sunlight, of sunlit sidewalk here. Especially after being in the shade of the trees a minute ago. Well, could start working my way back. How long have I been out? 26 minutes? Yeah, I think I'll head back from here. Again. I can't remember if we've rehearsed shows in there or not, but my daughter's certainly done dance competitions in there. And she's rehearsed shows in there. She was in a production I wasn't in there with Sterling Productions. I've never done a show with them. I should. I'm surprised I haven't. But I haven't done a lot of shows anywhere recently. Might do more. In my 60s, play the old guys. Won't be playing the handsome leading men anymore. Not that I ever did. I was always a character actor. Oh, maybe I can see now what else has been said here. Oh. Okay. Captions today and sound. That's good. Completely different city from a month ago. Yes, very, very green now. Talk about Canadian temperature. It's currently, I'd say about 18 maybe, 19, going up to 26 today. So it cooled off from last week when it was up to 35 one day, which is 95 Fahrenheit, if anybody's watching from the Fahrenheit portion of North America. Another school. Don't know which one off the top of my head. That'd be an elementary school. It's like the mailman. Nope, he's not carrying anything. Probably not the mailman. Anyway, we're going to start zigzagging our way back this way now. Oops, what did I do? There we go. Sorry, I just brushed up against the mic there. So it's very pleasant right now in the shade, especially. It's supposed to be in the 20s all week, mid to upper 20s. Some rain coming, especially on Thursday, according to the forecast, but we're supposed to get a little bit today, starting about 3 o'clock, if you can believe the forecast. Very long, straight piece of sidewalk. Not much to say about this neighborhood. I've never been on this street as far as I know. Unlike McPherson, but we're on Ulrich or something like that. I only glanced at the sign. Keep walking this way. There's a major road. You can see the cars up there. I just saw one anyway, maybe you didn't. I keep things in my eyes look closer than they do on the camera. This road may take us all the way to there. There may not be another zig to the left before that. No, I think there's one up there. Oh, another one. Green, cool, and beautiful. Well, it is actually. It doesn't just look that way. It actually is green, cool, and beautiful right now. This is still the first flush of spring. So I keep doing this. These will turn a darker green as we go on through summer. And then sometime about September, they'll start to change and fall. By October, November, we're back to no leaves except on the pines. And, okay, I don't want to get sprinkled on here. It's not moving, it's just sprinkling. Okay, go around it then. And by November, could be walking in the snow again. But we're not there. It's spring. It's spring. I was going to say it's May. Oh, squirrel. Probably didn't see it. Squirrel. Squirrel. He's hiding from me. There he is. Song from Camelot. It's May, the lusty month of May. But it's not. It's June. So it should be June is busting out all over. Which is from Carousel, show I've been in. No sidewalk on this side. For some reason, a lot of these neighborhoods only have sidewalks on one side of the street. Don't know why. A lot of contracting going on, that's landscaping over there, where the sound's coming from. Of course, we're planning to do a small addition and build a deck, but that probably the way things are going to be about fall. So we may be enjoying our deck very briefly in the fall and have to wait till next spring to really enjoy it. There's a church here, apparently. Not one I'm familiar with. The sign is up here, so we'll find out. Go around the corner. Modern building. Here you go, Hillsdale Baptist. So I guess we're in Hillsdale. I wasn't entirely sure what the name of this neighborhood was, but apparently it's Hillsdale. Oh yeah, I've been in here. Now that I see it from this direction. In fact, I've sung in there. Don't remember why, but I know I've sung in there. Might have been with Midnight Sun, the a cappella group I was in a long time ago. Okay, now we've ended up back on Hillsdale, which is a busier street. So I'm just going to walk to the left a block and then zig back in, I think. The car's down at the corner of Hillsdale and Lakeshore Drive, which is still a ways down there. More sprinklers. Are you saying it's hot in India, Miriam? I bet you it is. Well, it was hot here last week, but our hot spells don't last very long. I mean, the record for Saskatchewan was set in the 30s in a little town called Mydale. It was 114 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be 40... What would that be, 48 or 49? I should be able to do that in my head. $14 times 9 is 90, and 36 is 126 minus 32. No, that's not right. Don't do the minus 32. Sorry, I forgot what I was doing. 13.6. That can't be right. $126 divided by 5. Oh, that's what I want. Yeah, so it'd be 45. Sort of the record heat for Saskatchewan, set back in the 30s. And the record cold is something like minus 48, or so we have an extreme climate. Ah, I know that church. Regina Philharmonic Chorus that I sang with for many years, rehearsed in there. And I've also done I sang a duet with somebody who wanted me to sing a duet with them for their voice lesson recital, and I also sang a few other things myself, so that one I know well. When I first moved up here, I did several years with Regina Philharmonic Chorus, and it was great because my dad would drive up from Weyburn with some other people from Weyburn, so he'd always been my choir director and song leader in church, and I got to sing with him instead, sitting in the same section, which was really cool. This guy coming, and I don't have the light, so I'll go behind him as I start back down this direction. Figures somebody's going to turn there. Yeah. Oops, let's stay over here. For the moment, it's amazing how many cars you can get on what looks like it shouldn't be a very busy road. All right. Although this is actually a busy road, it's one that people take to get over to Albert Street from Hillsdale. I don't want to go too far in this direction now because my car is actually back over my right shoulder as I'm walking this way. So this is just to get off of Hillsdale, and then I'll head up to the north as soon as I can and keep going that way. Yes, Canada is quite a beautiful country. It's very large, mostly empty. We're the second largest country on this planet Earth. And if Russia keeps on sinking, someday we'll be first, as long as we keep Quebec. Another song for the arrogant worms. Well, this is taking me much further this direction than I thought it would. Oh well. Oh, maybe there's an alley here I can take. It's actually an empty lot. How far does it go? Oh, it goes past At the same, don't think I can get through there though. No, it dead ends. I could walk into the schoolyard and go that way. I think I'd rather stay on the sidewalk than walk in the long grass. Eventually, I'll be able to head north. It's the trouble when you walk in a neighborhood you don't know. You end up not taking the best route. And especially around in this neighborhood, roads do weird things. I've been lost down here before GPS and all that stuff when I first moved here. Wandering around trying to find an address. The roads curve and the next thing you know you're going in the opposite direction from where you think you're going. Nice residential area though. Here we go, we can go north now. Have a little mini library that some people like to put out. Leave a book, take a book. Okay, now we head north. Back in the direction of the car. It is cool, but I managed to work up a sweat through walking. To shift my arm, shift hands here. My right one's getting a little tired of carrying the camera. Give it a bit of a break. Yes, so second largest country in the world, population of 33 million, I think, something like that. 1/10 the population of the US, basically, roughly. So there's a lot of empty space in Canada. Of course, most of it's up north. The vast majority of the population lives pretty close to the US border. Furthest north I've been is Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and that's the southern part of the Northwest Territories. Squirrel! 2 squirrels wreaking havoc in somebody's garden. That was when my wife was president of the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan. Got to travel a lot of the country with her, and one of the trips was up there for the Northwest Territories, or was it a Penwar event? Maybe it was a Penwar event, Pacific Northwest Economic Region. All right, well, I'm repeating myself now because I came down by that school when I first walked this way. So I have come back to the same roads, but that's okay. So we went up there in November, and the most fun I had was we got to go on dog sledding on the frozen lake. That was very cool. Those dogs really love to run. Now, I don't think it'd be a particularly comfortable way to travel long distances, but a lot faster than walking. And I particularly like that because one of my favorite books as a kid was Call of the Wild by Jack London, about the soft southern dog that gets hauled up to the gold fields. We'll go this way because I came down this road to the left, I think, when I came last time. Or did I? No, I walked in front of the school, so I must have come from this direction. We'll go this way. Let's walk on this side because they're doing something over there, even though there's no sidewalk here. So going dog sledding took me back to reading Call of the Wild as a kid. We actually, when we were in California back in 2002 for the World Science Fiction Convention, we were in Sonoma, and Jack London's house is kind of a museum in the hills there, so we got to go up and see Jack London's house. That's a crescent. It'll probably take me around without getting me trapped in a cul-de-sac. Nice big spruce. They do better when they're sort of set off by themselves and get more sunlight. They get bigger. There's Roberts Plaza up there, so I know I'm headed in the right direction. The tall building. Morning, Theodore and Hasselhoff. A few minutes left in this walk. Just walking in a neighborhood I've not walked in before. Very pretty neighborhood. Not big houses, but mature landscaping, so lots of big trees, green grass. It's quiet down here. These curved roads that don't go anywhere are good for reducing traffic in residential areas. So, somebody learning to ride a bike up ahead of us. I'll have to change so I don't frighten the small child. Oof, stepped in a hole. Okay, let's see, what cross street is this? Of course, Jubilee Avenue. That was McNabb Crescent. Yeah, I could keep going straight ahead, but that's also a crescent. So I don't actually Motherwell Crescent, so I'm not actually sure it would do me much good as far as getting back to the car. Although it should connect up there somewhere to... How long have I been out? Only 49 minutes. Okay, we'll keep going this way instead of heading straight back to the car. Worst that can happen is I'll do a big loop and end up back where I started. House for sale. House that sold. See more and more flowers being put out. No risk of frost now. Only a couple of weeks ago it frosted, but is that just 2 weeks ago? Seems like it, just before Victoria Day. Now, the road I would like to be on is off to my right, but I don't know how far I have to go to get a connection to it. Can't walk through somebody's yard. Maybe up ahead? Either that or I'm going to just do a loop back, and this was just a slight addition to the walk. Oof. Some parts of the sidewalk are not in very good shape. Yeah, I think this will just take us back. Oh well, still wanted to make it a good hour, and so needed to add on just a little bit. Avoiding a sprinkler there. I knew it was a crescent. I just thought there might be a connection down at the end, but there wasn't. Another crescent inside the crescent. All right, well, we'll go down to the busier road down here and head back directly to the car this time. Got to get out to the golf club where I'm going to write this morning. Said I think I might finish the first draft of the Tangled Stars this week, which would be great. Finally. And I can start revising it. I want to start book 4 of the World Shaper series. I have the Kickstarter anthology to work on. So lots to do. Most of it doesn't bring in any money right away. So I'll probably have to start doing more freelance editing work as well. Which I don't mind, but I don't love. because it takes time for my own riding. But one does what one must to make a living. Oh, that's an outdoor skating rink ahead of us there, behind those boards. Obviously no ice in it right now. We're going to go down back along Jubilee, which will take us back to Hillsdale and then Lakeshore Drive and the cars in the parking lot at that corner. So, definitely repeated myself now. It's a school. A school. School over there. Let's stay on Jubilee now, straight ahead. You can see Robinson Plaza again, the tall building through the trees to the left there. A very good landmark when you get twisted and turned around down here. Well, I wanted it to be an hour. Now I pushed it over an hour, but not much over an hour. There's 5 minutes left, I think. And then off to right. Here's where we decided to go around the crescent instead of going straight back to the car. You didn't really have a say in it. So, right down in there, I'd be trapped because it's kind of a self-contained condo complex. Wascana Estates. Take this crosswalk up here. Hillsdale. So I walked over on the other side last week. If you go looking for it, the thumbnail shows the Roberts Plaza there, the tall building, tall apartment building. You paste the two together, you'd have one long walk in this neighborhood. Could actually easily be edited together into one long walk, since I crossed the street at basically the same point. So Hillsdale is a very broad street with a boulevard down the middle. And this will take us by Hillsdale Alliance Church again, which I walked by on the previous walk over here. That was sorry, Heritage Alliance Church it's called. So there's, again, Robinson Plaza, kind of the lonely mountain of, because I've been watching The Hobbit, lonely mountain of apartment buildings sitting out here by itself. Doesn't have a dragon in it as far as I know. Hillsdale, sorry, Heritage Alliance Church. Kind of an interesting building. Never been in there, I don't think. Now that I said that, maybe once, but if so, I don't remember it well. Just a block from the car now. It's just the other side of the street in the parking lot. The trees over on that corner, that's a Boreum Park. That's the city tree farm, which I've walked by many times when I've been over in that part of the park. Oh, another note from Colleen. Another delightful journey as you enjoy your morning coffee. That's what I'm here for. Actually, I'm here for exercise. But if you want to come along, that's good. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow, Theodore. Or Theodore. I don't actually know for sure how you pronounce it. I'd say Theodore, but she seems like it ought to have a bit of a Latin accent on it. Theodore. So. Don't know where I'll walk tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Maybe down around Gordon Road if I go out to the club again. A little further south. Again, my dentist is over there. Breaking news. Somebody I need to go see because I kind of didn't do my last checkup, well, not checkup, but cleaning because of the COVID situation, so I ought to make an appointment. I get my second vaccine shot on Thursday. And I'm being a guinea pig. I'm mixing them after doing some reading. So I got the AstraZeneca one first. I'm getting the Pfizer for the second one. Supposedly more risk of minor side effects, but some research indicates that you actually get a higher level of protection by mixing the two. So that's what I've chosen. Oh, it was so sandy here. That silver Volvo there is what I'm headed to. Excuse me. Like the Roosevelt. Okay. Theodore. Okay. Theodore then. All right, so say goodbye to, we'll stop with a view of Roberts Plaza there, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.